Before moving on to the video, subscribe to my channel and like video. There was an island, one that had remained silent and untouched for centuries, its history lost to time. The sun would set over the horizon, and a dark storm would often swirl around the island, as though nature itself was hiding something. It was a place of mystery, a place feared by those who knew of it. The island had once been home to a thriving community, but now, it was abandoned. No one knew what happened to the people who lived there. All that remained were the rumors, the whispers of an island haunted by a dark past. The villagers had simply vanished, leaving behind an eerie silence. But as time passed, the island became nothing more than a legend. No one dared visit. Until one day, a ship arrived. The captain of the ship had heard the stories of the lost island and its cursed past, but he didn't believe in the superstitions. He brought a small crew with him, an assortment of sailors and adventurers, and they made their way toward the island, eager to explore. One person, however, was not so eager. Her name was Maya. A historian, she had long been fascinated by the lost civilization of the island and the strange tales that surrounded it. The others were there for adventure, but Maya had a deeper purpose, to uncover the truth. The ship anchored near the island, and Maya, along with the crew, made their way ashore. As they walked through the desolate streets of the once thriving town, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The buildings were old, their walls cracked and crumbling, and the streets were overgrown with weeds. Yet there was an unsettling energy in the air, something watching them. It was as if the island itself was alive, breathing in the silence. As night fell, the crew decided to settle in for the evening in one of the town's larger buildings. But just as they were about to rest, they heard a strange sound, a scream, distant but unmistakable. The crew froze, looking at each other in confusion. One of the men, too frightened to stay, ran into the night, his footsteps echoing through the deserted streets. Then, all was quiet again. The next morning, Maya found herself standing alone in the middle of the village square. There, in the center, stood a large stone statue, an eerie, lifelike figure that seemed to be watching her. Its eyes were dark, its face frozen in an expression of pain and anger. Maya knew it had to be the statue of the town's former leader, but it didn't feel like a statue. It felt real. The eyes, despite being made of stone, seemed to follow her. And then it hit her, this was no ordinary statue. It was a monument to something far darker. Maya decided to continue exploring the town. The rest of the crew was nervous, unsure if they should stay. But Maya's curiosity was stronger than her fear, and she pushed on, her footsteps echoing through the empty streets. As she wandered further, she found herself at the entrance to a cave hidden beneath the town square. The entrance was barely noticeable, but something drew her in. She lit a small lantern and ventured inside. The walls of the cave were etched with strange symbols and images, depictions of death, punishment, and twisted faces. Maya ran her fingers over the carvings, feeling the weight of the centuries-old stories trapped in the stone. Deep within the cave, she found a series of writings, fragments of messages left behind by the island's lost inhabitants. One of the messages read, "We are guilty, but we cannot escape. Something awaits us here, we are the 100 murderers." Maya froze. The words seemed to pulse with a dark energy, as though they were alive. But before she could read any more, she felt a strange presence, a shift in the air around her. The walls seemed to close in, the ground beneath her feet felt unstable, and she heard footsteps, slow, deliberate, approaching from behind. Turning, Maya saw a figure in the distance. But this was no ordinary figure. It was a shadow, dark and twisted, like something that shouldn't exist in the world of the living. The figure stepped closer, revealing the pale face of a man who looked like he had once lived here, one of the island's original inhabitants. But his eyes were empty, hollow. As Maya backed away, she realized the truth, these weren't just shadows. These were the spirits of the 100 murderers, trapped on the island, cursed for the terrible crimes they had committed. Each of the 100 had murdered someone, and in return, their souls had been condemned to this place, unable to escape, forever wandering in torment. The ghostly figures surrounded her, their eyes fixed on her. Maya tried to scream, but the words stuck in her throat. The spirits were getting closer, their cold breath brushing against her skin. She felt a chilling presence all around her, as though the island itself was alive, pulling her deeper into its dark heart. "Leave this place," a voice echoed through her mind. It wasn't a voice she could hear with her ears, but one she could feel in the depths of her soul. "You cannot escape. You are one of us now." The ghosts advanced on her, their forms shifting and swirling like smoke. Maya turned and ran, but no matter how fast she moved, she couldn't escape. The darkness surrounded her, closing in on all sides. She heard the faint sounds of the other crew members' voices, calling for her, but when she turned to look, they were gone. The island had consumed them too. Hours turned to days. Maya's mind began to unravel as the spirits tormented her, whispering in her ear, reminding her of every death that had occurred on this island. The 100 murderers had once been real people, but now they were nothing more than vengeful souls, trapped in eternal purgatory. When the ship's captain and the remaining crew finally returned to the island to search for Maya, they found nothing. The village was still, eerily silent, as if the entire town had disappeared in the blink of an eye. No sign of the historian or the crew members who had come with her remained. The island seemed to have swallowed them whole. Years passed, and the island fell into legend. Sailors and adventurers who ventured too close would sometimes hear strange whispers carried by the wind. Those brave, or foolish, enough to approach the shores would see figures standing on the cliffs, their faces obscured by the mist. The island had become a place of darkness, a place where the souls of the 100 murderers waited for their next victim. And so the island remained, its past hidden beneath layers of time and death. The legend of the 100 murderers lived on, and Maya's name was lost in the whispers of the wind. No one would ever know the full truth of what had happened there. But the spirits of the 100, along with Maya's soul, still lingered, waiting for anyone who dared to approach, for the island had not finished its story. Thanks for watching video. See you in the other videos. Bye.